Hello everyone, I'm Sangaya Swami, Assistant Professor, Government First Grade College, Yelanka. We have taken a journey from session 1 to a session 6. If you kindly go through all these sessions, we dealt with the different basic understanding of a computer networks to phenomenal approaches of how these network is going to help enormously as far our application is concerned. In continuation with that, today I am going to take session number 7 under unit 1, where the topic title goes like this: local asynchronous communication and its need, and how these LAC means a local asynchronous communication we deal in real implementation of application. This is one phase. And another way, first we need to understand what is local asynchronous communication. So synchronous, the term, English term, it clearly indicates that synchronous means synchronize. Asynchronous means not synchronized. It's a quite contradictory to deal. But here, asynchronous has a different parametric definition that I'll tell you how these things will work. Now we are using a local synchronous communication in a broader spectrum in our day-to-day computing is concerned. As we know that asynchronous communication, the next two chapters are better we discuss the data communication class where we can deal with that. Electric current is used to transmit digital information across a short distances is what it indicates now. Asynchronous communication, if you look into the text-based definition, in the broadcast sense, asynchronous communication is when the send and receiver to need to coordinate, to synchronize before data is transmitted. Okay. In a synchronous, what happens here is already line of sight for transmitting and the receiving are already synchronized. In asynchronous, before transmitting and the receiving, we need to synchronize first and transmit. Like first we need to know where we are trying to transmit. That is a very, very important. Okay. And communication hardware is classified as asynchronous if the electrical signal the transmitter sends does not contain any information that the receiver can use to determine where individual bits begin and end. So because it needs to understand the communication of transmission, right? And here also we require two important equipments as we dealt in earlier communication chapter of a radio propagator, where the transmitter and the receiving, here also we required both transmitter and the receiving. And the receiving hardware, which must be built to accept and interpret the signal, sending for the hardware to an associated transmitted signals. Of course, in a long distance communication, we further deal in other sessions of it. Now, this is a simple representation or a diagrammatical representation of asynchronous transmission. A serial transmission is equal to method of information transmission in which one bit of character is sensed at a time. Now, I'll tell you what is a sense of data. I'll tell you a receiving potentiality should be estimated before we get transmitted. And transmission potentially should get acknowledged at the receiving side. Okay. So this means that what is a bit encryptor and the transmitter that we are using for transmit and the receiving should know well in hand. Otherwise, there is a disturbances or there is unmatching transmission may occurs, right? And it requires only one wire for transmission of a bit plus other wires for transmitting other characters. Because later I just want to explain you how these multiplexes will function in both, we call as a half duplex and the full duplex. That I'll explain you how these characters will play. Generally, slower than the parallel transmission, it functions in a ATS, that is asynchronous transmission. And the circuit which we use to design is of course a low cost compared to parallel transmission like satellite and other things. Fewer hardware components and the cables in ATS. And serial transmission can use the following transmission nodes like a asynchronous and the synchronous. I'll tell you what are the basic difference between asynchronous and the synchronous at the end of the session. Right? Now, if asynchronous transmission carried out means not with, async means not with. What is not with here? The time. Constant of transmission time and the receiving time is not sync because it's asynchronous. It's a geek word where we can see asyn means not with and chronos means time. It's not with the time. So what happens if we are not transmitting and receiving by using this? There is probably a disturbances. Probably a transmitter wave frequency will not match. So a method of transmission which allows the characters or bytes to be sent at irregular intervals by preceding each character with a start bit and following it with a stop bit. This is a start and a stop. We call it as a Newton transmission rates we call as. Here the common for low speed and inexpensive transmission such as the terminals can be used to transmit at higher end. And the parameter like a data rate, when we talk about a data rate, we generally measure in terms of bits per second or the BPS or kilobits per second or megabits per second or GBPS, gigabits per second. These are parameters or this we call as a units of parameters we used. Now start and stop bits define where the character begins and where character ends for the transmission is concerned. So here this slide will give you a brief idea about how these ATS will work. Now the start bit, how do we say the start bit? A bit always is 0 followed by each of the data bits. It may be 0, 1 or 1, 1, 0 or 0, 1. This means that when we say the 0, 1, 1, 0, this means 0 is a starting, 1, 1, 1 is a data transmitted, 0 it stops, 1 again it starts. So this is a kind of data which we keep on transmitting in a regular interval, A stop bit is what? It is always a 1 which follows the last data bit on a parity, right? An interval at the end of each asynchronous character that allows the receiving computer to pause before the start of the next character, we call it a Newton transmission, Newton data transmission, right? We move on to the next important here, and there is a start bit, data at one particular parity bit, and the stop bit. This is a packet format. We call it a parameter format for data packets. Start, data, parity, stop bit. So now here there is an idle time between one packet transmission to another packet transmission. So this means that there is a gap between one transmission data packet or the data format to another. So what data packets that I'll tell you in a further subsequent this thing. The start bit starts the receiving computer's internal clock and expects to receive a certain number of data bits depending on the agreed upon data rate. Now, who is going to agreed upon a data rate? This means that we know that our circuits are mutually exclusive to understand a receiving capacity and reading capacity. So, receiving and reading and transmitting and transmitted data. These are the parameter we need to follow for transmission over there. Each device sender and the receiver must be set to transmit and receive data at a particular given speed. And who will monitor the speed? The speed will monitor when we identify the channel of transmission and the channel of distributed into ATS mode of transmission. Using a parity bit or the transmitter bits we call as, and the receiver must somehow sample the incoming data this accurately, that is the receiver must sample the incoming data as a close to the center of bit cell, the possible bit cell which is coming in. We know our circuits are capable to read the data. There is an idle time, of course the circuit will temporarily the circuit will maintain and goes into a cutoff, again it will restart. And transmitter and the receiver clocks are independent of each other because it is an asynchronous, right? So time duration in which it follows has a major impact on following transmission. Timing problem may arise if a sender and receiver have a different clock rates. That's what I said, it is not synchronized, right? If your data transmission is 15 kbps, this means that 15 kilobits per second, and at the receiving side it is a 10 kbps, your data receives only the 10 kbps, not 15 kbps. Vice versa. Suppose your transmission is only 10 kbps and receiving has a potential capacity of 15 kbps, still there is a duration of time sampling rate. So right, so these are the some basic few parameters that we need to know in asynchronous transmission. So now here it is a representation how asynchronous character 8-bit one stop bit that it functions over in the transmission. Timing in asynchronous communication we call as ADC, referred to a book Understanding a Data Communication by Held and States. They said that data transmitted over asynchronous transmission has wider scope in identifying a communication media which deals with in a non-randomized pattern. Transmitter and receiver must agree on an exact clock rate. Okay. If a clock rates are mismatched, then we cannot begin with 0 or 1 bit, right, at an arrival. So here first we need to set the clock rate or get adjust with the clock rate. Why I am telling the set and the get set? The reason is, set yourself, get another receiving to a get set. So both receiving and transmitted should understand their transmission clock rate, so the transmission becomes seamless, right? So receiving read times, it's a clock on the edge of the transition, we call it a change from previous stop bit to 1 bit, is always noted here to make the clock should work functionally, right? So sometimes the middle part of the start bit may violate the norms. So then it can be attenuated with the bit cell rate to get interrupted and transmit again. Okay. If you cannot transmit again, you have to reinitialize the transmit. Now what happens here, that's what I said, if the receiving and the transmitting clock time is not matching, then we have to depend on setting a minimum bit rate transmitters at the output level. This is how the functionally we need to depend on the receiving and the transmitting end of our phenomenal transmissions. Now we move on to that. So again, too much of clustered text is there when you read a text rate. Here I want to explain only the few parameters related to asynchronous communication. One is how to measure the parameter of time clock in a receiving and transmitting. Here each character has its own cycle, we call it a character cycle, which needs to communicate to a receiving and a transmitting. Now configure the time clock in such a way that if the receiving has 4 bits per second, so transmit have the 5 bits per second, both should meet between one particular point where it is a clock should be minimized with the common time cycles. Right. Now this is called the relatively simple. So therefore we always use a circuit to understand the transmission rate and equip these transmission to a receiving clock cycle, or understand the before transmission what is the receiving clock timer. So how do you say that the receiving antenna has this? Here, as a transmitting antenna does not get any dream about the receiving antenna has only the 8 bit, right? Or the transmitting or the receiving antenna does not have any dream about the transmitting antennas. Here only the initial cycles to know, we call it as sampling cycles. So once if you send the data at the initial phase of it, your circuit come to know that what is the receiving clock time which you are trying to send, and automatically you have to get adjust with the data cycle which you are trying to transmit, right? So these are the few technical adjustments that is need to carried out in the asynchronous, right? We move on to next important discussion using electrical current. Now the simple electronic communication system uses small electric current to encode a data transmission, and these data transmission has a higher rate of oscillation. Okay. Of course a negative voltage might be used to represent 1, that is 1 bit, and positive voltage might be used to represent a 0, that is a off bit in a square wave in the form of these things. And these voltages are not sent over the wire for a specific amount of a time. The reason is it uses only the square wave readable signal transmitters. Okay. I'll tell you there are the different electronic circuits that we need to engage for these electrical signals to get transmit over a network. And the standard for communication at particular this thing here is how long should the voltage be held, say for 0 or for 1. If continuously 0 0 0 3 bits are there, it holds the 3 units. If you continuously 1 1 1 3 units, it holds the 3 voltage parameter for the 3 units. So here what level of voltages that we need to maintain for transmitting a data, we have to estimate. That is called the standard estimation calculation in the data transmission. How do you determine the number of zeros and ones when the bits are consecutive? It's very simple. We need to use clock timers, the simple clock electronic circuits, to enhance the capacity of transmitters. We ensure the inter-vendor compatibility, we call as a mutual inter-vendor potential capability or compatibility. So here we have a standard organizational parameter for transmitting and the receiving by the consortium. These consortium like ITU, International Technological Uniform Spectrum Organization has the implication. European International Associations, that they have some standard. IEEE, International Electronic and Electrical Engineers Consortium. Lot of designated papers, a lot of designated research papers that you can find on these things on the realistic. We move on to a standard for communication. These are the RS-232. Okay, we call it a real syndicate, or we can call it a relay through serial data circuits. We call it as an RS. 232, 2 bits, 3 transmitters, and the 2 bits encoders. It is a standard for designating, and these are the circuits and the cable circuits. A common standard designated for use with a device such as a modems and the terminal, specifying the transmission of characters. And designed for 7-bit characters, but can send 8-bit as well. Because sometimes a 0-bit as a parity, or sometimes 0-bit is not parity, we can set it. And 232 is a synchronous sender, clocking time before a transmission. And even at the receiving also, we use a RS-232 character to be sent any time of delay between characters arbitrarily. In a short distance, a computer and a modem are the terminal to a modem, or modem to again vice versa computer. These are the transmission of this thing. Standard for communication in the RS-232, we follow the same standard of 0 and 1 level of transmission of it. Since a wire does not return to a 0 volts between each bit, a receiver cannot use a lack of voltage to mark as the end of the bit or the start of the bit. So it is a continuous mode of transmission. Here we never identify whether 0 or the 1, or the 1 or 0. This means that either it may be continuously 0 or continuously 1, or it may be alternatively 0 or the 1. It depends on data which you are trying to transmit over a network. Right? Instead of both the sender and the receiver must agree on the exact length of a time, and the voltage will be held for each bit to transmit without any interruption in the real syndication of transmission over a communication line. Now this is another bit of standard. When the first bit arrives, the receiver starts at a timer. Each bit is transmitted with the same length of time, and the start bit, that is a plus 15 volt, is used to signal the beginning of character. We call it the initial of a signal, and which can be transition from an idle to a start, start to an idle, idle to start. Positive 15 volts are used to 0 bits. This is a standard. Negative 15 volts has to be used for 1 bit. This is a standard. Okay, 1 starts bit and 7 data bits are there, which start, stop, idle, means there is no transition, or continuously start and continuously send, can also be used in a real standard for communication system in this. Right, now this is RS-232 devices, how exactly it looks. I'm using 8-bit pin structures and 16-bit pin structures, or 9-bit pin structures. So there are the many more other RS-232 connectors we use for communication. All right, this is the same how the guard band we uses. Limitation is 50 feet per se standard. These are the limitations which we use to standardize our transmission. If you focus more on RS-232, this is a general diagram representation. The building structure goes to a modem. Modem goes to another modem of receiving end and receives to a computer system. A host of computers we represent here as a server, or the receiving as a terminal, and reciprocately in other way where the transmission has the terminal and the receiving. So this process continuously through a DT, we call it a data terminal equipment. So any equipment which transmit of a data over on a network is called data terminals. Or it is an electronic device capable of generating and receiving a data, such as a computers to terminals and terminals to computer. We call it as a DTE, data terminal equipment. Another important electronic circuit we call is the data circuit terminating, or it is an equipment for data communication equipment, DCE. This device is capable of connecting to a transmission or the terminal equipment, or the terminal equipment to a DCE. it changes vice versa. Now, the basic data transmission is DT to communication remotely in above figure that I showed you, where the modem connects to a computer system and computer system connects to a modem. But the transmission occurs from computer to terminals and terminals to a computer continuously, right? There's a various examples that we can run on these RS-232 mode of transmissions. Reassembly for converting data into a signals and signals into a data reciprocately using a transported data or a transmission line or the signals or the radio propagation waves. Anything. Here another important designated illustration of it, where the DCA and DTP will equip with these parameters we can call as a transaction parameters, and this is a pin structure of it. So standard PC which we uses for the modem and a cable, 9 pin structures we used for the data transmission, right? So in RS-232 more informative cycles like how the sending devices to a DCE and transmitted over it, DCA to receiving end and receiving end to a DT. This is a simple of a table structure. If you locate in the RS-232, I had given some steps. What are the steps which we need to carry out signal transmission? These are the brief listing. So whenever you're going through the side representation, please magnify and read it, because the local and the remote DT terminal equipments. This is a simple way of representation how the communication may occur in the real syndication. And these are the electronic circuits with the pin structures we used from DTA to DCE, data terminal equipments to data controlled equipments, data communication equipments. Okay. We move on. These are signal parameters that we studied using a CRT. So cathode ray tube. This is one of the important devices in a laboratory. We use a churn of signals. We call it as a transmitted signals. How these signals will transmit over a unipolar or the polar in the system of transmission over a network using a different color coding methods. Now I just want to give you some more technical terms of, say, baud rate, framing and errors, of course, which we are going to detail about in the next sessions. Baud rate is a better explained in the next corner chapter which deal with this section of it. Now, full duplex asynchronous. A simple transmission. What is a full duplex? In a simple transmission, one way and one way only. Simplex and the half duplex. Full duplex in the sense, the same road we used to transmit for the going and coming, right? In a simplex transmission, only one way that we need to select, either need to go the vehicles or receiving vehicles, one way. Half duplex in asynchronous is either way. If you are going, no, don't allow two vehicles to come. Okay, two-way street, but only one way at a time is called half duplex. In a full duplex, both ways at the same time. Here, this mechanism will help to understand for transmitted over the signals. So look into the full duplex where the data and the receiving and transmitting at the girding sources. In a full duplex, what happens? Only the same channel we uses for transmitting as well as receiving without interruption for transmission as well as receiving. These are the limitations of real hardware that we need to engage in a transmitted over the signal process. And there are of course a different hardware bandwidth and the transmission of bits that we need to take care of before we implementation of this thing. Now here I just want to conclude this particular session, and I want to conclude before concluding, a summarization is we studied the different radio propagation mechanisms, RS-32 indications, different other parameters that gives you an idea about how these things will work in a realistically. Thank you very much. We will see you in the next session